Once you reach age 65, if you're a man, post-rate goes in. It starts from there. I always say, okay, you know the board governance issues, everybody knows what the board should do, but the most difficult part of being a board member is the board dynamics.
No, Daktari, in legal circles, we'd call that a dissenting opinion.
Yes.
So you had your dissenting opinion.
Correct.
This is the executive table. We are continuing a discussion with Dr. Edward Odundo. Daktari, please continue.
Thank you. Yeah, so I was talking about realities in retirement. One thing that happens also, if you look at the age, once you reach age 65, if you're a man, post-rate goes in. It starts from there. The enlargement of post-rate is natural. And it becomes a problem because now you have to deal with those kind of things because it's age-related. And the same with you reach 80, you have being a bit senile, things like dementia comes in and starts affecting people. And it becomes a very big problem. And what I've discovered of late is, and which has been proved biologically, that if you look at most male at retirement, they're a bit slow. Their female gene becomes stronger. You know, so the female, their male gene now becomes stronger, while the men, their female gene is the one which now is the opposite. So you'll find that at old age now, the ladies are more stronger than the men. And that's why you find that at that age, they're the ones who control everything. The guys sort of come down. And it's a biological thing. They can't do much. It's a fact.
So, Daktari, you are telling me I now become more assertive. I've just
more
retired.
You become more assertive and you're more in control. And that's why you find that even a lot of separation takes place.
Yeah, at that time. Yeah. Okay, that explains it. So in that situation, how do you handle that now from a family perspective, from a societal perspective? How can we become our best selves, even in that season?
What I always say, when you reach that age, where if you're still strong because of your professional background, just get involved in those things like CSR within your environment, maybe become the church leader, do something in the church, give back to the society, not really for money.
Yes.
Yeah, you're able to even go like now do a session like this for people. You're busy in a way because you are doing something that you have the experience over the years. Now you're able to talk about it, and then you give them the real situation, not things which are just theory. Because you've gone through it and you can explain this is what happened. And it keeps you going. It's than just sitting there with all that knowledge and experience which you just go to waste.
What I've seen, and this is also coming from the comments I received when I announced that I had retired from the bank a few months ago, is that people fear retirement.
Yes.
And most people think that retirement is the end of life, sort of. Now, what you're saying is that it may be the end of your formal working life, if you are in a formal setting, but it should be the beginning of another phase.
Correct.
Where you contribute differently to the society. That's what I heard you say.
Correct.
And create some impact and create your own legacy, what you will be remembered for. Yeah?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing.
It makes a lot of sense because I sit in a number of boards, the university, and also schools. In the city. So there are things that keeps you have a meeting here, not from a financial, but you're able to give back.
Yes.
In management, administration, and all those things.
Yeah. Okay, now that you've talked about boards, I think we can change gears and talk about board membership. And first of all, let me ask you, you sit on very high profile boards, and here I'm thinking about companies like Equity Group Holdings, together with the subsidiaries in insurance, which I also know that you chair. Now, can you tell us what you had to do to be able to get to sit on a board like Equity Group Holdings, for instance?
My journey to boards started when I was the finance manager at Kenya Re. Kenya Re used to be a shareholder of IDB, Industrial Development Bank. And because there were shareholders there, they had to have a board representative. So they sent me to go and sit on the IDB board. So IDB was the Industrial Development Bank. So that's where I started my board journey. At the same time, I was asked to sit on what we used to call motor pool. So yes, motor pool where all the insurance companies came together and to take care of the claims and everything. So I was also put in that board as a chair. I mean, to sit in the board. So at that time, I started getting involved with board members, and I get at that early age, being a board member. And after that, I found myself, now people asking, okay, you've been sitting in a bank's board, IDB was very well known, you might be having very good experience. What I found very interesting was, because I was an executive working in the administration, then sitting in the board, I knew what the CEO was going through. So they found my input was much better than even just a board member who came in. Because here there was a CEO who was in the board there, but then I was also a board member, but also somewhere where I was working, I was just at the same level.
Yes.
So I knew what issues he had. So it made very easy for him when it came to issues. I was able to explain some of the issues of this board, the chief executive is going through than myself. The same, because I was also in the same position on the other side. And I found myself in that board. Then for long, I found myself in school boards and in the church boards. For a long time, I was the chair of my church for 8 years. So I found myself in a number of boards, and that's when I was commissioner of VAT, then also sitting in the boards. And as I left those organizations, and when I left my employers at RBA, even at RBA, when I was in RBA, I was sitting in about 3 boards. The Insurance Regulatory Authority, as a board member. I was also a board member at Nairobi Security Exchange. I was a board member, and then I was a board member of a hospital. And interestingly, I was the chair. So the universities, I was the chair of Management Council, the council, and also chair of Tangaza University and Uzima University. So I found myself in a number of boards, and even I've been invited to others, but then I find it a bit too much. I can't contain it. Others, there's always conflict. So if I find there's a conflict of interest, I always pull out. And I made it sure that I don't participate, I stay away as a chair. And being in a board is interesting. I always say, okay, you know the board governance issues, everybody knows what the board should do, but the most difficult part of being a board member is the board dynamics. One, my experience was I was a board member within the KRA. You find that you're in the board meeting, and as your board meeting is going on, you have your phone there. You see a message come. Then you say, a message, maybe something which can help you. And when I looked at the message, he was telling me, hey, Dr. Odundo, why are you opposing our position? I said, and this is somebody who is outside the building. He's saying, why are you opposing this thing? So it's like somebody within the board
is giving out
has
information.
already communicated to them that this guy is the one who
taking this position.
Is taking this position.
Yeah.
And then I said, I thought we are board members, we discuss, and whatever we'll agree, that's how it should be. But the message has already gone out there.
Yes.
And everybody knows, oh, you are the one who was opposing this. Those board dynamics are very interesting. In a board I was sitting, we were doing board evaluation. Because of the chemistry among board members, some lady just decided to give the chairman 0.
In the evaluation?
In the evaluation.
Wow.
Then the other board members also iterated and gave a 0 in the next next evaluation.
Yeah.
So those are things which are not written, but it is real. It happened.
Yeah.
So one thing I always advise board members: when you're a board member, please first of all stop mingling with management. That you start talking to managers or whatever, so that you find that you are a mess. Like a CEO, you're going to the board. Issues you have not sorted out at management level, board members know, which is not very good. Because now they come there with half-baked information and try and push as a position of management. And it becomes very difficult. I, as a CEO, I was both sides. I used to find it very difficult sometimes when issues are brought when I have not finished with them, but the board members bring them. So that becomes a big challenge, that if you're a board member, focus on your position as a board member. If there are issues, you deal with the chairman of the board, but not getting involved in micromanaging the institution. So those dynamics are real. That people must, as a board member, you take them very seriously. Me, I've been a board member, I've been chairman, and I've seen this.
So what you're telling us is be aware of, first of all, respecting the boundaries.
Correct.
Between the board members
yes.
and the management team, because
Correct.
the board member is not an executive, yes. unless they are an executive director. And secondly, avoiding personal conflicts.
Correct.
And you know, the director should have an independent mind,
yes.
and give their own view and their own opinion on areas of discussion.
Yeah, and I always talk about, okay, now I can talk about it, I'm no longer in government. I was chairman of an institution. And being a chairman, you know, you protect the board members.
Yes.
So when we had an issue, then I took a position that my board members, this is what they decided. But the other side never thought that that was not correct. So you wanted to approve something and they say, no, this is what you want to approve, it's not right. This is what the board members decided. So the issue went to court, and I went and gave a personal statement as a chair and a board member. You know, I wrote a statement that this is the position of my board member.
Yes.
But it didn't go very well with the authorities at that time, the government, and they find, no, why are you opposing? I said, no, this is what the board, because I know in the long run, I've been in government, it will come to bite you.
Yes.
So I stuck to my position. So the next thing I saw, my position, I was revoked. The position, I was revoked as the chairman. I said, fine. Yeah, better go home than, but I protected my board members.
Do something
yes. Otherwise, the board members who are basically appointed by those by appointees, government, whatever, becomes very vulnerable. So the chair sometimes, because I was the independent chair, I said, let me protect my board members, then also bite the bullet.
No, Daktari, in legal circles, we'd call that a dissenting opinion. Yes. So you had your dissenting opinion.
Correct.
But we had another conversation about integrity. And there's somebody who asked a question or made a comment on social media and said, I stuck to my integrity principles and I lost. She lost her job and she was very bitter. So what you are telling us is that sticking to your integrity and your position and your principle sometimes costs you.
Yes.
Maybe you need to just elaborate that for the sake of those who have raised
because
that
what
issue.
I found out, especially in public sector, if you just go by the flow, at the long run, all of you are going to be put in a mess. And you're all being accused of billions, which are not real. But then you find your reputation is affected. Yet you've been having a very good career. Like now you've been developing a very good career. Then you will sit in a board tomorrow. Then issues sat in that board. Then you also put in the mess. So it's always that good. And even board members, I always tell them, even if you're an individual board members and you don't agree on something, please have it recorded that you did not agree on that position. Because I saw that when I was in RBA, where a board member said, no, I don't believe this project is okay, and please note it down. It was noted at that time. Many years later, actually that project collapsed. So when the people are being picked and whatever, this is the only man who was left, because it's very clear in the document that he said, I don't agree with that. Now he was like, now the one to give, his position was the one which was taken. So what we are saying about integrity at the end of the day, it will cost you, but it's better than finding yourself in these situations.
And you safeguard your reputation for life.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Now, let me shift gear to mentorship. And you said that you have had some great mentors. I do envy you if Philip Ndegwa was your mentor. So you can probably now talk about why mentorship. You can talk about your own mentorship that you got from some various people. Why is it important in somebody who is building their leadership journey?